the difference between lip reading and speech reading?
Well, lip reading is a subset of speech reading. Lip reading is just looking at a person's lips.
Okay.
Speech reading is watching everything about the person. So you're watching their lips and their tongue, their jaw, their facial expressions, their eyes.
Their body language?
Anything. If I could see your toes, I could see if you were tapping your toes because you were anxious to get away from me or whatever.
Right.
But I found something that is really interesting. A lot of speech readers are the same. We can't speech read a person if they're wearing sunglasses.
Oh.
Take your glasses off so I can hear you.
I never heard that one. That one's a brand new one. So I know you wrote a book called The Keys for Success. What's the name of that book again?
It's called Keys for Success. Oops, let's try and get it.
There we go.
Yeah. Keys to Successfully Living with Your Hearing Loss.
And that will be in show notes, but can you share with us maybe a couple of those tips out of your book?
Well, there's 6 of them, the keys. And the whole idea of that book is that we think you lose hearing, what do? How do you successfully live with it? And so these tips, the first one is, and most people never would think of it, but in order to successfully live with your hearing loss, first you've got to psychologically adjust to being a hard of hearing person. Most people don't think of that. And so included in that psychological adjustment is grieving for your hearing loss. And if you lose your hearing rather fast, it's just like losing a spouse. It's a shock to the system, and you've got to go through the grieving process. And so I wrote a little book called Grieving for Your Hearing Loss, The Rocky Road from Denial to Acceptance. And it goes through these 5 stages that Kubler-Ross way back had written about for losing a person in death. And the same principles apply. So it's like denial is the first step. If you, first thing, if somebody says, the doctor says you've lost your hearing, the first thing you do is you deny it, because you've got to give your mind a chance to sort of grasp it. And so the first thing out of your mouth is, no, that can't be true, or it's just temporary, you see. So the denial comes first. And then when you can no longer deny it, then you start going into the other stages, and you can go through them in different orders. But a lot of times what happens is you deny it, then comes anger. That can't be right. Somebody caused it. It was your fault. You yelled in my ear, or whatever. I mean, some of these things are so, you wouldn't expect it. Like there's a professor in New York, and he teaches hearing loss. And a lady had come to him because her child had kissed her right on the ear and used such suction that the sound essentially was like a gunshot. And she lost her hearing. And so he wrote an article called The Kiss of Death.
The Kiss of Death. Well, I'll have to Google him, because I haven't heard of this one yet. So that's something else.
I've had numbers of people, because I wrote an article about Levy and this called The Kiss of Death.
The Kiss of Death.
So you can find an article on my website.
And what is your website?
It's hearinglosshelp.com.
Hearingloss.help.com, right?
No, not dot.
No, okay.
Hearinglosshelp.com.
Okay, Hearing Loss Help.
Make sure you get the HELP, because I've noticed there's numbers of people that supposedly have normal hearing, and they put it down as hearinglosthealth.com.
Okay, well.
Gotta get the help.
Well, you know that when somebody even has a mild hearing loss, they're missing some of their vowels and consonants.
Consonants, not vowels.
Yeah. So, I mean, so even people that have a mild hearing loss that may not be wearing hearing aids may have this issue. One question, just to pop off of your book for just a moment. But what do you use for assistive listening for, like right now? I see where you have a headset over your head, whereas I have earbuds inside of mine. So what do you use to help you be able to hear with your hearing loss in this situation or in other situations, say when you go out in public, when you go to the library or you go to a movie or anything along that line?
Well, I have a whole raft of things that I use. Like on my desk right now, I've gotten numbers of different things that I use. I'm wearing headphones. I could wear earbuds, except that the earbuds with the mic in them won't fit on my amplifier. You see, I can't hear my computer. It's not loud enough. Sometimes when I put my ear close, I can just tell it's on. There's sound there, but I can't understand it. So I have a powerful amplifier that I plugged into the earphone jack on my computer, and these headphones go into it.
And
So
what is the
that's,
name of your headphones?
well, headphones are nothing.
Oh,
I don't,
headphones, just regular headphones. And
yeah.
okay, just thought I'd ask. Okay.
The thing that I'm using is called the speech adjust-a-tone. And it's a 6-band equalizer, and it's got enormous power. If I turned it wide open, you'd watch the headphones just go boing. If I only had one on, you'd watch both eardrums going that way.
So it's pretty
That's,
loud. It's just like when the young people go to a concert and they stand in front of those boom boxes. A lot of them are not cognitively aware that they can blow out their hearing, nor when they go into, say, a restroom, that has a hand dryers where you put your hands underneath it.
loud.
They've been tested as loud as 120 decibels. And they can even blow out babies' hearing because babies hear starting at 16 weeks. So we've talked about grief with getting hearing loss. And I do know a little bit about Kubler-Ross. So thanks for bringing that up, because anytime you lose something, in fact, even right now going through the pandemic, a lot of people are going through a lot of adjustments. So that might be something, if you've got a hearing loss or if you want a direct path for grieving, then perhaps you can get Dr. Neal's book on this particular topic. I'm